They were watching India Love is realizing she can't outrun her past.
I'm told you get wiser. And for some content creators, that comes later rather than sooner. India Love took to the internet and delivered a special message that got me kind of intrigued about her past and how this involves other content creators and specifically people that just deal with the internet in general.
I've been through a lot. I've been through a lot in my teenage phase. I went through a lot in my 20s. I made a lot of mistakes, and there was a lot of people who drugged me through the dirt for it. And I believed it for a long time. I wasn't nice to myself because of what others said about me until I knew who I really was and whose I really was, which is yours, Lord. Now nobody can shake how I feel about myself. Nobody can change how I feel about myself.
Most people don't know this, but India Love has been in the public eye for 15 years. The video vixen era, the celebrity relationships. Now she has influencer visibility, but now she's streaming. And it's not just about seeing an Instagram photo and then disappearing. It's about having your life evaluated 24/7, 365. So she decided to give her life to Jesus, but instead of people giving her some sort of sympathy, they decided to question the validity of all of it. If you're new to this channel, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It goes a long way for us here in this community. Help me, help me get more sweaters for the video. Now, back into the content. This video may be a little bit deep, and as unserious as I can be, I decided to bring in my serious expert on any and all matters internet related. You know her, you love her. That's right. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you again, Danielle. All right, so India Love is going on her
I don't know her, and I have never seen her on an Omeezy video, but maybe I'm just not watching enough Omeezy.
Formative journey.
Okay.
Her new righteous path.
All right.
And we got to break down the math and the science on it.
Yeah, you know I stay with my sisters, so.
I've been through a lot. I've been through a lot in my teenage phase. I went through a lot in my 20s. I made a lot of mistakes, and there was a lot of people who drugged me through the dirt for it. And I believed it for a long time. I wasn't nice to myself because of what others said about me until I knew who I really was and whose I really was, which is yours, Lord. Now nobody can shake how I feel about myself. Nobody can change how I feel about myself.
All right, so apparently there's two sides to how people are perceiving this whole issue. There have been some comments about, this is the aftermath of those hoe phases that women be going through in their early years, and this is the same playbook.
Playbook?
Yeah. You remember Brittany Renner?
Yeah.
Brittany Renner went through something similar to this. First she found Jesus, then she found Allah. She went Muslim for a second with Kevin Gates, and then
pork either, so I get it.
Now she took the hijab off and got a job, but everybody's been going through this same phase that's come out of like the video vixen era.
I just think the internet in general, and by the internet in general, maybe I'm actually generalizing to just society, too harsh on women, too harsh on girls, too harsh all the way around. So one, I don't know too much about Brittany Renner in real life. Don't know too much about her. I see she's
she trapped PJ Washington.
I don't even know who that is.
Oh well.
Okay, Drea.
Basketball player. You know damn well maybe she's not on the internet like that. You feel me? She could just not be on the internet like that, so she may not really know.
Oh. Now she trapped Jalen Green for sure.
But this whole, this the game plan, this is her life. Like what she said is true. She has been drugged through the mud so many times for so many reasons since she was a teenager. I don't think this is a game. I think it's real life.
Now there's another side of the conversation, and I think that we may agree on this side a little bit more, of people that see India Love, hear India Love, feel India Love, and reference some of like her past transgressions and are saying to themselves like, what she's going through is real. Kind of like what you're saying.
So India Love is, she made a video basically being like, I was groomed, right? And you gotta understand, India Love, me and her the same age, I believe. I think she was my age.
36?
So when she started actually fucking with celebrities, like it was like a thing. She had a boyfriend who got in a car accident and they was together they were locked in. And then when he went to college, they broke up. They broke up while he was in college. I can't remember all the details, but she was one of the girls who had like a steady boyfriend all of high school. And then when they broke up, that's when she started, dating. A lady quote her tweet of India kind of crying about being groomed and said, well, this is the hoe phase that y'all advocate for. And I don't like when y'all do that, because I feel like when people talk about hoe phases, it's clearly talking about sexual exploration so that you can figure out what you like as an individual. If you like me and you start kissing my neck, I'm gonna really get it going. But if you also my skin tone, you will know that you can't let motherfuckers play in your neck too long, you're gonna look crazy, right? These are things we learned because we got in the field. And we got in the field with people our age who are also exploring themselves, not with grown-ass men who was fingering us in the park when we was freshly 18.
Okay.
You see what there's a difference.
That's a thing? That's what happened?
18-year-olds canoodling and an 18 and a 34-year-old. And y'all know that. And so that's why it's like, y'all be knowing what y'all doing, and y'all know what people mean when they say the things they say, and y'all willingly be obtuse just to prove your point that never is gonna hit.
And really, the people that try to defend it, like, oh, she was 18, she was an adult. I know what you are, and my eyes are on you. Yeah. So go ahead.
You know, part of the reason why I brought you in here is because when we live together and we have matching sweaters. But the other part of it is the fact that, like, there is a difference in how young women and young men are socialized in this context and conversation. An 18-year-old boy going through the same things that India Love went through when she was a youngin' wouldn't have gotten the same labels as she got. Just full stop, wholeheartedly. And as much as people want to kiki and haha and point the fingers and all this other stuff about her, that's just the reality of the facts. She was early to the social.
Obviously, and a boy, it doesn't get the same labels as a woman, like being called a whore or whatever the case is. It just doesn't land the same because we live in two different worlds. Like, it's just, yes, we live in the same world, obviously, right? In the same reality, but two different expectations, two different types of mindsets. And I understand pushing for a narrative for everything to be equal. Equality in this world is the fact that it's not equal. That's what it the fuck is. And I'm like, I had this conversation the other day with a friend, and to make the world equal, to make everything fair is to make everything unfair. And as dumb as I think that is, I think it's the truth.
Social media game as a young, fair-skinned woman, and that naturally attracted a lot of male attention from rappers who couldn't date or wouldn't date women their own age. I think what people on the internet, though, fail to realize is that at some point, though, people are going to grow up and realize that the things that happened to them in the past weren't okay. But what I see a lot of people on the internet do is they kind of continuously and unfairly blame children for making children decisions. And I do find it interesting when people use the word children to give an excuse for an action, and then when they don't extend that to something that's most likely similar, or maybe it's the action in and of itself is different, but this person is still a child and the decision is ultimately childlike. So I do find it weird how they're willing to make like an 18-year-old India Love. I've even seen people say, oh, she was 21 when that happened. Why are you so quick to make her an adult as opposed to, I don't know, making X streamer over here who's 16 a kid and their decision making? And then also simultaneously not holding the adult men who continue these things accountable for their actions. I do think that that's weird.
Retweet. And maybe another thing that just came to mind when you said that, it's like, oh, well, she was 21. That is over 18. Do people know that just because something is legal doesn't mean it's right? Mind
you, she wasn't over 21. They made her 21 in the message. Like in the retelling of the story, they make her older than what she is. Simply due to the fact that they want to excuse the behavior. And every time, what's that thing? It's like when you go on a fishing trip and every time you retell the story, the fish gets bigger. Every time they retell the story, her wholeness gets bigger.
People also hate women. It's true.
Not me. And there's some other people extending some support for India Love as well, though.
So a video of India Love crying just came across my For You page, and y'all know I've spoken on her before.
Yeah,
when another clip of her talking about, a bitch turned 18 every day popped up on my FYP. But in this video, she showed a side of vulnerability of herself that I genuinely related to and appreciate. What India was expressing was basically she went through some trauma, which, a lot of beautiful women do. Because rather y'all like to admit it or not, there is a downside to pretty privilege. There just is. There's a downside to everything. That is the law of the fucking universe. Polarity, duality. But what really made me sad is that a lot of beautiful women get caught up in just their looks. I speak on this a lot.
That's interesting.
Okay? Where you feel like just because you are a beautiful woman, that is the only thing you have to offer to the world. And that's what she was basically saying. She was like, for a long time, I would have things I wanted to say, but I didn't have the confidence to say them because she didn't know what she was good at. And to me, that is motherfucking crazy. India could easily start a clothing line. I think that out of all the girls,
confused.
that is the girl I would
India
go
could
shop
easily
with
start a
because
restaurant.
she's actually passionate about fashion. You can tell.
India could easily start a research lab.
I feel like any well-known celebrity can start a lot of things, and depending on how much time, effort, and energy like they put into it, like anybody else. Granted, it'll be a lot easier because they have a audience to market it to, but that's besides the point. I want to talk about her point of she's talking about pretty privilege having a downside. Yes, there is. I'm not gonna. There's a downside to everything. You feel me? Being too tall, there's a downside. Being too short, there's a downside. It is what it is. It's kind of just how the world works. Once again, a fair world is an unfair world. I'm just saying.
Sometimes the support isn't the way that we would word it.
Also, was this support?
Hey.
Because don't make me mad.
Shade disguise?
It's getting a little weird. And maybe the intent was good. That was not it though. Because what? First and foremost, there are downsides to pretty privilege. You know, beautiful women get traumatized. And y'all think conventionally unattractive women don't get traumatized?
No, but it's different.
And you know, you get targeted because you're pretty. No, you are not being targeted because you're pretty. You're not being targeted because you're petite and a size 0. You're not being targeted because, oh my gosh, where is her waist? Or I can't see what leave out. Oh my gosh, what wig? Where is it? You're being targeted not because of anything you did, actually. It's on that person who's doing the targeting. Let's turn it on.
I think it is stupid that at least the way that it seemed that she was trying to infer is that the baddies get targeted exclusively, or
And so non-baddies should be targeted.
non-baddies are good. But what I will
Okay, these are a lot of assumptions that she's throwing at that woman. I don't think she said that. I don't think she wants that. But
say is I think the concept of her saying that like she's reduced to her looks is an interesting thought process, simply because India Love said the same sentiments in that conversation, that she felt like she was reduced to her looks, and she probably needs to do some more therapy. Others around you may have reduced you to your looks, but it's something that naturally you would lean into as a child. I don't know.
I mean, if you're
as a child, as a grown adult, you're taught to like play on your strengths. You feel me? Take advantage of what you're good at, where you're already at. To put more time and effort into your weaknesses, you can do that, or you can try to multiply your strengths, whatever that is. And that's what it is. Like, you have two options. You can strengthen your weaker like traits. You have that option. It just depends on if you want to.
you're being given all of this attention for your looks and for nothing else, I don't know, that makes sense. I am valued for when I'm the video vixen. I do get the attention and the fame and the clicks and the likes when a picture of me half naked is up. But then when I do talk about, oh, this kind of seam is the best when you're designing this dress, it's crickets.
Yeah, because every time she does open her mouth, people don't take it seriously. Now, for what it's worth, we're still talking about India Love. But just the conversation.
Where did that line come from, though? India Love could start a fashion line.
She could start a podcast.
Is there some secret skill I've missed?
Yes.
Okay.
I do want to ask you, where does the line between understanding and excusing come from in the conversation that these two sides are having for India Love?
I would personally say that there is no excusing. Because one, who am I? Truly. Well, I know who I am and whose I am. But what are people talking about where I can't excuse her actions? She was a child. She was groomed. The only person who's to blame in any of this is the adult. So these grown men that be hanging around these children, that's 18, 21, all of that, they're the ones to blame.
But so I think the reason why people can't even get past this, though, is because...
I mean, isn't that like... But how are we going to... Like, don't we have to hold her accountable for what she's done now? You feel me? Like, after 21, okay, cool. Like, don't get me wrong. Trauma makes you repeat certain actions that probably aren't the best for you. But, you know, after 21, there's 9 more years. And I'm sure she's not just thinking about all the mistakes she just made between the ages of 17 to 18 or 16 to 18. I'm pretty sure she's thinking about all the decisions she's made from 18 plus. So it's like, you know, there's certain decisions that you made that you didn't have to make. Now, if those people put lucrative opportunities in front of you and you decided to take them, amen, say amen.
Like you said, they were adults, and now she is an adult, and she's wilding out being the mean girl 30-year-old on like DDG's Love Show.
I'm not here to say any young lady was wrong in what they said, okay? I'm just saying, I came to play a role. My role was to intimidate, was to poke the bear, was to, sprinkle my little messiness, in which I did in my own form and fashion, which was inspired by Miss New York. So if you feel like it was very nasty or whatever, it was nice nasty. I'm admitting it was nice nasty. That was what I was supposed to do. Breakout streamer of the year went to Adapt, and congratulations, and we respect you for what you did. But Rakai should have won breakout streamer of the year and DDG. I don't care what y'all say. Shout out Rakai, shout out.
So people see a 30-year-old India Love still playing the mean girl, still being a pick-me in the eyes of a lot of people, specifically in this new era of streaming, how she's hung around these younger guys and done whatever. And then they've also seen this pattern.
At least she's not trapping them. Hey, man. At least she's not trapping them like the other ones.
Of these celebrity women who have, and I should probably say celebrity, but I should say video vixen, Instagram model women who have gone through this change and then haven't really changed. It was just another grift. And so they have a hard time believing that like an India Love can be the next person who actually does change. And that's why they're giving her as much grief as possible when it comes to her realizing that she went through, as the internet said, a quote unquote hoe phase. What is a hoe phase?
Well, I'm trying to figure that out. What is a hoe phase?
I think a hoe phase is when you have a lot of sex.
With different people? With the same person?
Can you be a hoe to your partner? Never mind. At what point does somebody's history outweigh their present actions? Like, why do we feel the need to hold everyone's past against them forever?
Now, again, I'm too woke because not everybody's past is held against them. But I do think there's a level of like holding grace for somebody. Like you can recognize someone has been traumatized and how that can then play a role into their actions today, what they decide to do, what they say, how they say it. So I think that's one, like being able to recognize that trauma. And I know there's been a lot of talk about trauma-informed care and therapy and all of these blah, 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 blah. But then what does it look like to go to something that's more peace-centered? So instead of saying like, you were traumatized and this is why you act the way you do and you'll always act like this and trauma is the focus, how do we say, you were traumatized? We're seeing how it's playing out here, but that doesn't have to be all of you. So I think that's where people need to make it to, especially for women and for women of color.
I mean, the internet is forever. So especially in like a casual sense, people are always going to remember you. It might not be all people, right? But it'll be some people who were there during that time. Everybody who knows India Love today wasn't there for the eras that we're talking about. Like the young lady described when she first came on the scene and she remembered that she had a boyfriend. Everybody wasn't there for that era. Old. Like I said, everybody wasn't there, but somebody will always be there to remind you, and those that were there for every step of the way, it's gonna be hard for them to forget and forgive. Do I think that that's right though? Because we don't know these people? Not really. I think the fact that we get like glimpses of these people and we do pass such harsh judgments on them is a little bit strange. You can be in conversation and be like, whoa, she got another boyfriend, okay. But as soon as somebody's like, she's a fucking slut ass bitch, me. All right, kind of.
No, because then if I point out that a few of us probably have a few India Loves in our lives, our personal ones, wait a minute, and maybe are an India Love.
Now, I will say one judgment that I do have is that she said it on stream. Streaming to me isn't the platform for that type of, let's say, revelation. A couple of reasons.
Yeah, for sure. Oh my God. The nigga that cried on that, I need to watch this dude named Chibi. His girl got cracked by his best friend and you know, he proposed to her and all this extra shit. Hell nah, boy. What? Hell nah. Hell nah. That's the whole idea. Like, it's not. It's not. Bro, what the fuck? There you go.
One, clip culture is out of control. The way that these people take these clips and put different, captions and stuff on them. I know it's good to be vulnerable with your audience, but they see it as content. They see it as engagement. They don't see it as anything true.
Dollar motherfucking bills, y'all. What are we talking about? That's why you don't, if you go through a revelation, you go through some type of understanding, if it isn't motivational, not like stop being a hoe, but like, oh, I'm going to get in the gym, or oh, I'm about to go make a bag, or, whatever the case is. If it is a normal hustle culture, don't stream that bitch. Tell your friends, tell your family, start acting brand new. Don't portray yourself in the public eye like that. Just go do what you do. And when you come back and you moving different, people will notice.
true and serious, so they're gonna take that and put it elsewhere. And then two, the audience now thinks that like everything is a script and everything is fake, everything is not true, everything is just like some sort of money grab. So she could be going through some real shit, just as we've seen over these past couple of months with like Kai saying that he's gone through mental health issues. Some other streamers have been saying that they've been like physically sick, their uncles have died, all that other stuff like that, but they can't share with this audience because they think it's some sort of performance. They think it's performative.
Now, I don't know too much about streaming. Is some of that not on the streamer? Like, do you not cultivate a certain kind of audience? And if now the audience that you've cultivated has grown accustomed to, I'm gonna get a performance and a fun script and hee ha ha, then all of a sudden you switch it up, I would be confused as well as an audience member.
I think that that's a fair assessment, but that's why I would also continue to argue that like streaming wasn't the platform for her to do this on. Like her being public, doing this, and this is where for me, I'm not gonna like hold you so accountable for this because you're just living life in real time. You're doing your actions. I can't say that I agree with them, but at the same time, you are still that person who just played a mean girl or is playing a pick me on stream. So then when you do this flip in real time, people are going to question it. It is what it is, especially if you monetize it. I think people make that distinction of like, hey, if this is a monetized thing, it becomes something that is less authentic. I don't know.
I mean, it's a crazy economy. Get your bills paid.
I get that. But I think another reason why people are killing her is because of Brittany Renner. Yeah, Brittany Renner, similar situation as India Love, came up on IG when IG was just a photo taking app. They were doing the little booty poke. Hold on, let me do it. Let me do my stance. Is that it?
Now you got a booty on you, but your pants need to be
doing
a little tighter.
Omeezy, get the fuck off my screen.
Up during the booty on sync side pose era,
A classic.
skimpy clothing, all that stuff like that. And then after her like infamous book where she like exposed Colin Kaepernick, which also was crazy, and then all the other football players, she went down this spiritual journey.
First of all, hi. So I'm currently cleaning house, out with the old and with the new, manifesting a new wardrobe, inshallah. I have no idea how this is gonna look. I have contractual obligations, clothes to wear, posts to do, bills that have to be paid, and showing up the best I can, right? Because I know that it's not gonna be perfect. I know that people may have a gripe. I mean, my arms are out, right? First of all, it's hot, and then I sweat like a puddle under my armpits. Not an excuse, but looking into Botox under my arms, and finding clothes that are more aligned with where I'm headed, even if it's not to the book perfect.
Damn, you can't have your arms out? Like, I thought you were supposed to just cover your... Fuck it,
That's
hey,
what this
man.
is all about for me, as I'm just gonna show up and give my best, and every day my best gets better.
First of all, happy Ramadan. But she left being a Muslim because she's no longer with Kevin Gates and now she's back on the Christian path.
Is Kevin Gates Muslim? Do we know that?
Clicks and views.
God, please guide our voices. Let nothing that we've been through be in vain, and that whoever needs to hear whatever needs to be shared through us, through the wisdom that you've gifted us, please use us, speak through us, and may our voices, may this video reach the people that need it the most. You know our intentions, cleanse our hearts, purify whatever feelings that are coming up, so we can convey whatever messages you would like to use through us, protect us through this process, and just guide us.
So that's why people question what India Love, Brittany Renner, and whatever other young person who goes through any sort of change like this, if there is real validity behind it, if they actually have changed, if there's some sincerity behind it. Because what I do think is a little bit nasty, if I do have to be critical about somebody like a Brittany Renner, is that at some point we start playing with like religion. At some part we start playing with things that people take like crazy seriously. And I don't know if it's okay to have like the hijab through the crack of your booty. That just don't make sense to me.
Yeah, that's kind of critical. I feel like people that are religious play with religion all the time.
I judge them too.
And okay, cool. But just in general, using other people like a Brittany Renner or a Drea Michelle or whoever.
You keep throwing Drea under the bus.
No, because again, I don't know too much about Drea. The pieces that I do know, yeah, you're a problem. You're a problem. Again, I know bits and pieces about Brittany, and I really only know about her because of her partnership with Tiana Trump at some point.
You kind of gooned out too, but okay.
For sure. Because like, what? Really? That was a thing? Yo, she's done her research for sure.
It's finest. You kind of gooned out.
No, it was really a big thing.
Yeah, and nothing came out of it, but you're mad gooned out.
Okay. to judge any.
One thing I will say though, I never hear anything bad about Tiana Trump. When she was in the streaming world, after she got her nigga, no matter what's going on, I've never heard anything about Tiana Trump. And when she acted like a hoe, she was a hoe, and she's standing by that hoe title. She do not give a fuck. W-mans. Fuck it.
Everybody else based off of a Britney or a Dre, that doesn't make sense. Everybody, I promise, has their own individual journeys. And yet again, only women, and let me not say only women, only marginalized people receive this kind of criticism. Well, so-and-so did this, so you're probably gonna do that too. Let it rest. That's unoriginal. Be creative at least with your criticism.
I mean, one of the biggest issues is that like the internet has a problem with people changing. We criticize like people for having arrested development, the people on the internet, the characters on the internet. But the truth is that we as people like have arrested development. We get a snapshot of somebody and we never want to let go of that image that they are. Whether it be somebody silly, whether it be somebody flirtatious, whether it be somebody aggressive, whether it be somebody always happy, we have a hard time seeing them in like different lights, full stop. And I don't know what's going on India Love for real. I'm not Omar Love. But but what I do know is even if she did change, even if she did the work, even if she flipped her whole persona upside down and started wearing a full-on burlap sack, there's gonna be people on the internet that are saying like, nah, we seen when you was in the park with a man's finger down your pants, or we seen when you started the OnlyFans page, or we seen when all these other things happened.
Whoever did that finger thing and that parking thing, with all there's cameras, all types of shit, especially I think she lives in Los Angeles too at the time. Because I remember her family's from there, and when she was young, because she was starring on some type of reality TV show. But nah, nigga, you was freaked out.
and they won't let it go.
Which, let me say this, is valid with conditions. And I do think India Love's situation is one of those conditions. I'm definitely team. I remember when you did this 3 years ago and you said listen, because people love to forget and rewrite some history. I'm gonna bring it up with receipts every time. The issue here is she was a child, period, and she was a victim.
Even if we take it off of an India Love situation, when do you think that you are willing to accept somebody on the internet changing? Let's say that somebody on the internet started their walk in like the manosphere or the red pill community, and then they've did their 2-3 years there, and they've done the next 5 years of distancing themselves from that whole community. How do you know when they've like fully reinvented themselves where you can accept it to the point where you're like, that's not the first thing that comes up in your mind?
Never. If you started your walk in the manosphere, in the hate spaces, in the hate pages, trust, for me, that's where you always gonna be, period. And I hope things change. I hope you turn over a new leaf and do all the things. Never will I not have that in the back of my mind. Now, if you start off saying sugar belongs in spaghetti and then your taste buds change, okay, great, high five, I believe you. But like on some real stuff, on some harmful things, no, I'll never forget it.
I do also want to know, all right, so if they do something publicly, but they decide to do the work to change privately, is that, that's a negative too. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, 2 thumbs down. You thought
Really? I think you just got I honestly believe that's what majority of the time what you gotta do. I genuinely believe it. I mean, you could try to make a change in the public eye, but people will always criticize you. And then that can lead to you not wanting, it can lead to a downward slope, a slower build up of momentum, or it can slow down your momentum. And honestly, I think you keep the momentum going as fast and as consistent as possible, and you just let the change be shown through your actions. I just don't think you can really change within the public eye and then them really accept it. I don't know.
Absolutely not.
Ultimately, I think that these people are going to change as time goes. People do forget, although it may not be India Love specifically today, but at one point in time, most of these people start on the internet young. Yeah. Wholeheartedly, most of these people start on the internet young and just trying to figure it out. People got to remember that the time that India Love or Brittany Renner or whoever else, a lot of these content creators started on the internet, there wasn't like monetization in this. It was the ability to get clicks, likes, and views, and then also a passion project. And so now that money has trickled in, it's gotten a little bit more nasty based off of of that and they kind of want to distance themselves. People can change. We'll go from 16 to 32 and whoa, breaking news, hot take, they're a new person.
Whoa.
Most people don't know that.
Which again, one would hope even.
Yeah, one would hope that you're the same person. I'm gonna be honest with you. Again, no, it's not her fault. I'm happier seeing India Love on this track than seeing 32-year-old India Love in the park with another man. I don't know. I'm happier seeing Brittany Renner try to.
Was she 18 or 32 when she was getting her shit dug in a park? I'm confused.
Not have her booty cheeks, front facing at the age of 45.
You're hoe shaming.
As opposed to, but I'll say this. I'm gonna say this. I'm happy to see Cox and that Reed. I don't know. I'm happy to see people who do stuff in their early 20s.
There is a literacy crisis.
Not do the same thing. That shouldn't be a scorching hot take. There really shouldn't be a hot take that
Nah, I appreciate you, Meezy, keeping my ear to the streets of the bullshit that's going on in all the spaces, you feel me? Because you always be talking, you feel me, about what's going on in the online, the jobless fucking community. I forgot what he calls it. I think it's the unemployment community, right? But I appreciate you, bro. I love you, gang. Hold on, let me hit that with that subscribe for you real quick. I appreciate you guys. I love you guys. Tell me what your guys' thoughts about India Love are down in the comments. Do you feel as if that she's really going to change? Do you feel like she's on bullshit, just like Brittany Renner? That is crazy. Yo, whew, I'm surprised the Muslims that hasn't came for her neck yet. But hey, at the end of the day, all you got to do is grit your teeth and chase your dreams. Now, whatever those look like, that's up to you. But I'll see y'all in the next one.